Hey guys, welcome to our Halloween cookie tutorial. We're really excited to show you a little behind the scenes of how we decorate our cookies. And we're also really thankful that you chose to include us in your festivities this year. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is set out all of the materials and prep our icings. It's normal for the color to separate from the icing, so we need to work the color back in by massaging the bags. Once you've done this with each icing, go through and cut a very tiny amount off the tips of the bags. A few millimeters is all you need. Start smaller, and if your line is too thin, go back and cut a couple more millimeters off. The goal is for the icing to flow out easily in a thin line with minimal pressure. Alright, so I'm going to start with the lips first. Just take a little bit of black and squiggle a line on there, and then you're actually just going to use your finger to smooth it on. I promise not all the cookies are going to be like this. This is just to do kind of the base of it and give it a little bit more depth without the colors running into each other as much. And if you want, you can just use a butter knife or something to smooth it along. I found that it's easier to just use your finger. It's a little messier, but hey, comes with territory. Once you've finished putting the black layer on the lips, you're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing for the pumpkins. And just remember, you don't have to go all the way to the edge because you're just covering up the inside of the mouth for the lips and then the eyes and the mouth for the pumpkin. So while the black layer is drying on the pumpkins and the lips, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the mummy cookie. And the first thing you'll do is just outline the cookie with your white icing. And then once you've outlined it, you'll go back and fill it in. When you're outlining, you want to use light pressure, and then to fill in, just apply more pressure to your bag. So once your cookie is all filled in, you can go back and fill in any holes or gaps you see, and then you are going to just tap the cookie. This helps to get all the air bubbles out and just keep the icing smooth and settled. And then if you also want, you can take one of your toothpicks and kind of draw the lines out to the edge just for a cleaner look. So go ahead and do the same thing for your last two mummy cookies, and then we'll move on to the apple cookie. The reason we're just doing sections of a cookie at a time are so that each layer can dry before applying the next color or detail. This just helps the colors not to bleed together. Ideally, the longer you wait, the better, but as long as you're just waiting at least 10 minutes in between, you should be good. So for the apple cookie, it's going to be the same as the mummy cookie. We're just going to outline the whole apple with the green and then fill it in, and then do that for all three apple cookies, and then set them aside, and we will go on to details on the pumpkin. For the second part of the pumpkin, we're just going to outline the whole pumpkin, and then outline the mouth, outline the eyes, and then draw the lines of the curves. And then we'll do that for all three pumpkins, and then go ahead and set it aside again to dry before we fill it in, so that the lines are more prominent in the end. For the eyes here, I'm just making half moon shapes. It's a jack-o'-lantern, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just whatever kind of crazy shape or face you want to make is totally up to you. Now that we have the second part of the pumpkin drying, we'll move on to phase 2 of the lips, which is just doing an outline of the lips. This one is a little bit trickier to get the right shape, but just remember that you're leaving the mouth open so that you can add the teeth and fangs later. Once you have all the lips filled in, we'll go back to the pumpkin again and fill in all of the orange, and then we're gonna let it dry one more time before we add the stem. So I'm going back to our apple now, and I'm gonna add the gooey stuff on top. So you just do the outline and then fill it in. Make sure that your green layer is mostly dry so that it doesn't sink into it. And then while it's still wet, you're gonna wanna add the sprinkles so that they stick nicely. Now we'll add the finishing touch to the pumpkin, which is just the green stem on top. And once all of your stems are on, you have yourself a cute little jack-o'-lantern. For the last part of the apple, you'll just add your stem in black, and then your apple is done. Alright, now we're gonna go back to our little mummy guy. First, we're just gonna add the eyes. So I'm outlining them with green, and then I will fill them in with the black. Then do this on all 3 mummy cookies, and you'll set it aside to let it dry a little bit before adding the white lines. For the final part of the lips, you'll outline the teeth. I just do 4 regular teeth in the middle and then a fang on either side. And then you'll go back and fill it in. And now for our last cookie and final step, we're gonna add the lines on the mummy, and then add white dots to the eyes. And there's not really a rhyme or reason how you do the lines, just kind of string them all over the place. And that is it. We hope you had so much fun decorating these cookies with us today. Make sure to be on the lookout for more cookie kits dropping soon by following us on Facebook or Instagram. And also, we'd love to see your decorated cookies, so tag us on Instagram at Hearty Coffee. And just thank you so much for supporting us. We hope you have a safe and happy Halloween.